Like I said in my last video, one of the things I really enjoyed about Devil May Cry anime on Netflix was the character lineup in the first season. Each one brought something unique to the table. Whether they were incredibly annoying or constantly surprising with their actions, that unpredictability is what made the characters so engaging. One character in particular caught my attention, and that character is William Baines. His actions throughout the seasons were full of unexpected twists. So in this video, we're going to take a closer look at Baines and explore why I believe he's a villain hiding in plain sight. Right off the bat, Baines is introduced as the Vice President of the United States and the head of DACOM. The first time we meet Baines is during a federal board meeting, and honestly, that one scene tells you everything you need to know about him. He comes across as uptight, rarely cracks a smile, and he gives off this intense, no-nonsense energy. You can even quickly see how one of the board members apologizes to him during the meeting.
Now we're gonna really entertain
Dr. Fisher is one of the foremost theoretical physicists in the world. I assure you he is serious.
My apologies, Mr. Vice President.
That little moment alone speaks volume about how much power and authority Baines holds. Baines is someone that carries himself like he's better than everyone else, and it's not just regular people. Baines acts like he has control over the president too, and the wild part is he's not wrong. The president low-key relies on Baines' decisions in some situations.
What he said.
That dynamic only feeds Baines' ego and reinforces his power-hungry behavior because he knows nobody's going to check him. But here is the thing, Baines is not just a loud authority figure. He actually backs it up with his smartness. He is sharp and quick to connect the dots in situations that are very critical. For example, in his debut scene, he was able to decode that White Rabbit was looking for a demon hunter with just minimal information.
If you want to catch a rabbit, find the hunter.
What Baines did next was very clever. He now ordered a DACOM unit to round up every demon hunter they can find in order to flush out White Rabbits. And honestly, that was a clever move because that same operation eventually leads him straight to Dante, and he ended up also figuring out that Dante is exactly who White Rabbit is looking for with the help of Dr. Fisher. Just in that first episode alone, Baines demonstrated his ability to go any length to achieve his goals. The use of brutal force is like the least of the things he's willing to do to get to his target. He gives the command and the job is done. Another surprising layer to William Baines is his obsessive religious mindset. Baines genuinely believes everything that happens is God's will, and he makes decisions based on what he thinks God would want. That overly religious mindset was one of the most surprising aspects of his character for me, because he just uses it as a shield to excuse a lot of his actions, many of which contradicts the very belief he claims to follow. Because at one point, he tells Dante that he is spiritually unclean, claiming he is born with a black stain on his soul, but that he could still be saved. And of course, Baines' version of salvation just means working for him.
Winning this war will take more than anything human can provide.
You've seen Dante's raw power. Imagine what that type of asset could do if used correctly.
Baines messed himself up when he revealed to Mary that they need a force like Dante on their side if they are going to stand a chance against White Rabbit and the demons. His delusional mind believes God sent Dante to him for this very reason. That is crazy.
The Lord would not have sent us such a powerful instrument to enact his will if he did not intend for us to use it.
That's where he completely contradicts himself, because for someone who claims to hate demons, using a half demon to further his own goals screams hypocrisy. He doesn't care about Dante's demonic side when it benefits him. If Baines truly believed Dante was unfit for God, he wouldn't be trying to weaponize him, but he's just a hypocrite. One of the places Baines actually demonstrated his unwavering trust in God was when he was captured by White Rabbits. He did not show any sign of weakness or flinch for a second because he believed God still has a lot in store for him. Therefore, God will save him. And when Dante finally saved him from falling to his death after the plane explodes, Baines claims it was a divine intervention and uses it to continue pressuring Dante to join his cause. Bro is manipulative as fuck and conveniently delusional, because for someone who hates demons, there is no reason to recruit Dante at all. Baines is someone that throws his moral out of the window the moment they stand in the way of his agenda, and this is only further proving that he's willing to go any lengths to achieve his goals, even to the extent of working with a demon. I call Baines a villain in disguise because at his core, he is a self-serving manipulator who couldn't care less about those around him. He makes decisions entirely based on his own beliefs, regardless of how they affect others. Throughout the series, Baines showed zero empathy or concern for the people who work for him. He treats them all as expendable tools. As a vice president, you would expect Baines to show at least a little respect for the president, but nope. He doesn't regard him in the slightest. He sees the president as a puppet, someone he can easily manipulate. And the way he proudly boasts about setting policies and controlling the president.
You want to use this thing? Does the president approve that?
All the president cares about is maintaining his image. I set the policies. I bring the donors. He approves what I tell him to.
That is wild for a vice president to say out loud, I can't even lie. When it comes to the Darkcom, it's safe to say that Baines does not regard their lives. When White Rabbit wipes out a squad of Darkcom top operatives, Baines did not show any sympathy for them. He quickly brushed it off, claiming they served the purpose God intended for them.
Whatever reprimand you deem.
This isn't about your team. They served the purpose God intended. Our fight is for humanity's souls. Every vessel is expendable.
The Darkcom squad in question weren't just rookies, mind you. This was like the strongest group in the Darkcom unit. So it's crazy to me to see how Baines did not give a shit about them. Even Mary, who is arguably his best soldier, gets no special treatment. You would think he would respect her loyalty and skill, but he simply sees her as nothing more than an attack dog that follows orders. That level of cold detachment is the clearest sign of a true villain for me, because if you cannot care about the people closest to you, who can you care about? But the moment that really shifted my perspective on Baines was when he gave the order to execute the demon prisoners Mary was trying to save. Instead of sending them back to their realm and maybe closing off the portal, Baines chose to eliminate them without hesitation. The demons who had fled to Earth just to survive had no chance of survival at last. They thought they were being rescued only for them to be mercilessly slaughtered. That was cold and the quickest action that made me start seeing Baines as a villain. Because for someone who was just saved from falling to his death, you would think that he would find a place in his heart to show pity at that time. But no, he was back being ruthless. That just caught me off guard, I can't even lie. But the final act that actually sealed the deal for me, the moment that I knew Baines was a villain in every sense, was when he killed Anders. Anders was a fellow Darkcom soldier who was being controlled by White Rabbit. What Baines did to him was the pettiest thing I've seen him do in this show. Not only did Baines refuse to Anders that he knew he was working for White Rabbit all these whiles, he also seized White Rabbit's portal device that was in Anders' possession. That didn't just end there. Baines went on to brag about how God saved him from falling to his death, and then mocked Anders by saying that he would love to see the devil come save him. The fuck? That was crazy as hell. And then he had him executed and tossed his body off a helicopter. That right there is not leadership, that is not faith, that is pure cruelty wrapped in hypocrisy. For someone who claims to be guided by God and someone that is overly religious, using divine intervention as a flex while killing one of your own is beyond diabolical. That moment exposed who William Baines really is, a heartless, hypocritical monster who will eliminate anyone who gets in the way of his goals. Human or demon, he doesn't give a shit. Baines is just a wolf in sheep's clothing hiding behind God while doing the devil's work. Because tell me why he even completely wiped out every demon and destroyed their realm using the portal device he seized from Anders. The only thing I liked about William Baines' character is his appearance. He wasn't designed to give off a villain right from merely looking at him. He's just a middle-aged man with grey hairs who wears a blue suit that has an American flag on it, indicating that he is the vice president. He has a red tie with 5 white stripes on it. He often wears black gloves and has this red tinted eyeglass which he never took off, and it also made him appear more dangerous. As for his abilities, Baines doesn't possess any physical powers. Instead, his strength lies in his political authority and influence. He controls the government operations and commands the Darkcom units. They all help make him a powerful figure behind the scenes. Now, this might sound a little corny, but the way the show portrayed William Baines is also a little villainy for me. Having him speaking from the shadows, not cracking a smile, or never for once taking off his tinted glasses, that is some villain shit. No, for real, that ass. Baines was just a solid character overall. I genuinely enjoyed his scenes throughout the show. Watching how deeply corrupt and hypocritical he is unfold was low-key enticing. He hides behind religion and manipulates those around him, and also uses his power to control everything in his path. That is completely how a villain moves, bro. If this story were told from the demon's perspective, there is no question Baines would definitely be a villain. If you made it to this level of the video, you are the real MVP. I really appreciate you watching the video. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more videos like this. What do you think of William Baines' character? Do you think he's a villain in disguise? Let me know in the comments. I'm a little bit under the weather, guys. I'm having this crazy catarrh right now, and I feel like it's even coming out from my voice, but whatever, I still wanted to put out this video this week. For you guys, this is what I do for you guys. Yeah, but I'm getting better though. I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm out of here.